People in Nunavut expect to find out today whether one of the biggest industrial projects in Canada's north will go ahead. The Nunavut Impact Review Board is supposed to release its recommendation about the Mary River Iron Mine. The $4 billion open-pit mine on the northern end of Baffin Island would bring jobs to the territory, but there are also fears it could ruin the environment and upset the traditional Aboriginal lifestyle. Neville Crabbe is on the story. He joins me live from Iqaluit. So what are you expecting to hear, or what will happen later today, Neville?
Well, Suhanna, there certainly is a lot of anticipation here in Nunavut today because, like you said, the board that oversees all development here in the territory is set to make their final recommendation on whether or not the Mary River project can go ahead. If it does get the nod to go ahead, it could lead to the development of one of the biggest and most pure iron ore deposits ever discovered. Because Nunavut is a territory, it will be the Federal Minister of Aboriginal Affairs that makes the final decision, but that decision he makes will largely be based on what the Impact Review Board has to say today.
And what do most people expect to happen?
Well, most people that we spoke to towards the end of the review process believe the project will go ahead with conditions, and the company, Baffinland themselves, say they're cautiously optimistic. And they've really put in a lot of hard work through this review process going back to 2008, and they generally have the support of most of the major Inuit organizations in the territory. So people do believe and are cautiously optimistic that the project will go ahead with some conditions.
Okay, and speaking of those conditions, Neville, what could this project look like if it goes ahead?
Well, the interesting thing here is it's really as much of a transportation experiment as it is a mining project. The iron ore itself is so pure that it'll be crushed and screened, put on a ship and moved to smelters in Europe. So there's not a lot of processing that has to happen on site, but it's getting it from the middle of North Baffin Island to Europe. That's the tough part. It's going to have to travel over a 100-kilometer plus railway, all built over permafrost, and be loaded onto a fleet of ice-breaking ore carriers that plan to go year-round through Fox Basin, out the Hudson Strait, and to Europe. And none of that has ever been done before on this scale.
Thanks so much for that, Neville. That's Neville Crabbe in Iqaluit.